Hello everyone and welcome to the Transit Nomad family. Please make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Today we are in San Pedro, California, exploring Surrey bikes. This is my first time giving it a try. I've seen these kind of bikes everywhere in Southern California and other parts of the world, and I always kind of thought they're a joke, maybe just something really slow for families with very small children, and they probably wouldn't be worth it. But today, as you can see, it's a very sunny day and there isn't too much space to hide from the sun in this area, so I figured I would make an exception and give it a try just once, just for the sake of it, to see what it feels like riding a Surrey. So I'm on it right now. As you can see, there is a roof on my head which is protecting me from the sun, and that's the only reason I got it. Other than that, it's pretty slow and it's definitely not as fun as an actual bicycle or a tandem bicycle or any other kind of traditional bicycle that you might think of when you think of a bicycle. I don't even know if it's appropriate to call this a bicycle. It says that it's a Surrey. I didn't even know this word before today. Anyway, I did want to point out a couple of things about this location right here. We are next to an abandoned tram stop. There used to be a tram line, or also known as trolley or streetcar line, running here along the waterfront in San Pedro. I do not know the exact dates, but I know that the service started originally as a red car around 100 years ago, maybe more, and then it was put out of service together with all the other trams and trolleys and replaced with buses in the 1940s or 50s, and then it was restored in the 80s or 90s, and it was running up until 2013 if I'm not mistaken. I did get to ride it about maybe 12 years ago or something like that. It was a super fun experience. They had these really vintage historic red trams, and they were pretty fun to experience and explore. And I do feel very sad that they are gone. They decided to save money, and at this time there is basically just an abandoned stop. They do have some buses running in San Pedro as free shuttles, and they look a little bit like trolleys, but they do not service this specific area, so the route is different and the frequency is probably different. It's not as frequent and it's not as popular as this tram line used to be. Maybe they'll bring it back eventually, but it does look like some of the tracks are gone. Some of them are still in place, but some of them are gone, and there is a lot of construction going on, so the chances of them bringing it back are pretty low, I guess. I hope I'm wrong. Maybe someday it's gonna happen. You can see a little bit of the track over there. And now I started riding this Surrey to show you what it's like to experience actually riding it. And I want to show you how fast I'm gonna spin and how fast it's gonna go. We're gonna have a maximum speed challenge. I am getting some help from someone next to me, but you can see it's really slow. Right now I'm spinning very fast, and you can see it's maybe 1/4 of a speed that you can experience on a traditional bicycle. So I would not recommend it unless you are in the same situation like myself. You're in a pretty hot area and there is no shade, and you want to explore the space, but you also want to protect yourself from the sun. I was actually not even planning on doing any kind of filming today. I'm here on business, and I arrived a little bit earlier because I drove from San Diego, and it's always difficult to predict the traffic between San Diego and Los Angeles. San Pedro is very close to Los Angeles and very close to Long Beach, but the drive can be as short as 2 hours from San Diego. It can be as long as 4 hours, sometimes even 5 hours, depending on how bad the traffic is. So I arrived a little bit earlier and I had a couple of extra hours, so I rode one of those vintage like buses that replaced this abandoned tram line, and then I decided to rent this just as a one-time experience to give it a try. And I figured, why not film it a little bit. I do apologize if the video is a little bit shaky or if you cannot hear me very well, because I do not have the mic with me. I do not have the gimbal. I was not planning on doing much filming. And before I let you go, I want to show you this beautiful bridge. Let me switch to the close-up camera so you can see it a little bit more. It does look a little bit like the Bay Bridge in San Francisco, especially the structure and the color. It's a pretty big, massive bridge. I don't know what it's called right now, but this whole area is pretty interesting. There are lots of huge cargo ships and containers, and you can feel lots of action for transportation as far as importing things from other countries and then distributing them all over the United States. On this note, I'm gonna thank you for subscribing and liking and watching and commenting. Welcome to the Transit Nomad family once again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.